Hey garden dreamers, welcome to my winter garden. Well, it's winter for another about 7 days and then it's going to be spring. So I just wanted to show you what I have growing right now and what I'm going to be doing for spring. Anyway, follow me. This is dill that is just growing wild right there, and I'm letting it grow because when it bolts, it gets lots of aphids. It even has some right now, and the aphids stay away from my other crops. Right now I'm growing garlic right here. This is rosemary, smells so good. More garlic. I planted clover in the winter so I could fix the nitrogen on some of the beds. These were bell peppers that I'm going to remove, and this is cilantro that just grew on its own. This is my mulberry tree that's about to wake up. Yay! And in my garden tower, I have a lot of strawberries, some lettuce, some bolted broccoli. Over here, I have some onions growing in this bed. I had carrots growing in this bed, but I'm going to remove those because they're teeny tiny anyway. I'm going to put some compost. I have some alliums growing over here that I planted. And in this bed, I planted garlic, or is this onion? I think this is onion. Yeah, it's onion. Some beets. This was the bell pepper from last year that I'm going to take out. So yeah, I'm going to get all the garden ready, prepped for spring, because in about a month, I'm going to put the bell peppers and the tomatoes that I'm growing indoors. And I got this compost from a homesteader that I'm going to be putting over here in the beds. Let's do this. Okay, so here in this bed, I'm going to be planting, I already planted the garlic. I'm also going to be planting some alyssum and some cilantro and some basil. I'm growing some basil indoors. If you want to check out that video. Did I make a video? I don't remember. Anyway, I'll show you right now what it looks like at the moment. So let's take out, this was basil from last year. And you know what? I'm not too sure if I should just cut it from here, from the roots, well, from the stem, and leave the roots intact. I feel like that's probably better for the soil. But this time around, I'm gonna rip it out. If you have any tips for me, if you're a professional gardener, leave me some comments if I should just cut it from the stem or yank the whole root out like this. I feel like I should probably just cut it from the stem. Anyway, here's my little signs that my friend made. They're super cute. And I'm gonna be removing some of this. I should probably get a bucket to put some of this in because I'm gonna put a little bit of compost in here. Let me go get a bucket. Okay, I found this one for now. This will have to do. Oh, I could smell the dill and it smells so good. The sun's coming out. It's been super windy. I'm going to show you some videos of how windy. You won't believe how windy unless I show you some videos of how insane it looked. I'm just removing some of this straw because I'm going to put some compost on top. This still is really getting out of control. And there's two actually. And they're filled with aphids. Let me show you. Crazy, right? The amount of aphids it gets. But aphids bring in the ladybugs eat the aphids, and I have dill by my apple trees, and it's a lifesaver for my apple trees because the aphids leave my apple trees alone because they're infested with the dill is infested with them, so they leave my apple trees alone. So good cover or companion plant for apple trees is definitely dill. Also this year under my apple trees, I'm going to be adding borage, nasturtium, and basil. Okay, now let's put the compost. This compost I got from a homesteader, so it's aged manure. Just gonna spread some lightly all over the bed. Look at my bucket. I need a new bucket. I'm hoping the homesteader I got this from was right, because if using in veggie gardens, manure should be at least 6 months old, or if it's too fresh, it can scorch the plants or may contain harmful pathogens. I should have added this in the fall to be safe, but oh well, here we are, beginning of spring. And over here in this corner, that's my borage, if you want to go watch that video on how long it took me to actually grow that. Okay, so in this bed, I am going to be growing nasturtium here, some basil, and 2 tomato plants. I'm gonna put 2 tomato plants here, nasturtium, some basil over here, and I already have garlic growing in the front of it. Let me take these out. And this bed, if you could see here, it's gone down about this much. So I'm gonna fill it with compost, and I'm gonna cut this clover. I'm gonna cut some of this clover so it could be used as nitrogen, and you leave it under the compost to decompose, and it gives nitrogen back to the soil. I planted this at the beginning of winter, I believe. These 2 were my bell peppers. I'll show you some video of how gorgeous they were. So big. I was seeing if I could save them during the winter, and I put like a cover on them, but our winter got super cold for a long time. They did not make it. Well, it's okay. I'm already growing some more bell peppers indoors. If you want to catch that video, I already made two videos of those. Well, actually, I made one last year of the bell peppers I grew last year, and then I made another video of the ones I'm starting this year and my process. Why is that light there? I don't know. I don't even think that light works. This is my other bell pepper. You know what? It was growing bell pepper right here. It was still green. I'm gonna leave them next year. Well, I'm sorry, bell pepper. I have some green right here. I should have probably left it. Okay, so now that I know they could possibly still be alive, it looks like it was going to give me more leaves. Next year I'll just leave them in place and wait longer. This is cilantro. I'm gonna leave that there. Since it's growing, I'll just leave it there. Okay, so in this long bed, I'm already growing onions over here, and I'm gonna put a tomato plant here in the middle. Over there on that end, I'm going to put cucumbers, nasturtiums, and oh, a ladybug! Oh my goodness! I'm gonna put her where the, oh, so cute. I'm going to put her with the dill so she could eat. I put her where the dill was so she could eat. Oh, I'm going to cut this down and do the same thing I did to the other bed. I hope there's no other ladybugs. If I see one, I'll put it over there in that bed so she could eat, because it's a feast over there for them. Okay, so what was I saying before I got interrupted by the cutest ladybug? Over here on this side, I'm going to put marigolds, alyssum, basil, and over here outside of these beds, over here on this end, I'm going to plant some sunflowers maybe. And then next year I want to plant either ginger or asparagus in the ground. But I'm still thinking about that. Anyway, let's prep this bed. Alright, so I finished prepping the 3 beds, but I ran out of compost. I finished that one, this one, and this one. Told you what I was going to do in them. I have another bed the size of this one. I believe this is 4x3. And it's over here on this side. And I'm going to put bell peppers, 2 or 3 bell pepper plants, and thyme over there. And I need to go get more compost from my homesteader. But for now, I'm done for the day. In maybe like 2 weeks, I'll start planting my seeds, because I'm in El Paso, Texas, and the weather is wonky. And we get super high winds. It gets up to 80 and then it goes down to 30. And my plants are like, what's happening? Anyway, I'm sure everybody's weather is wonky. So that's it for now. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow. Join me so you could see what my spring garden looks like later in about 2-3 months, when everything is green and pretty. And thanks for watching.